What is Black and Denim?
Black and Denim is a lifestyle brand made 100% in the U.S. We make manufactured garments for men's and women's within the ready-to-wear space.
When did you get the idea to?
I got the idea back in 2006. I was living in Palm Beach at the time, and I used to walk by the store all the time. And it was a store for women, they only sold black and white stuff. So my idea was to create a store or a space that would cater to men. They would only have black stuff and jeans, and that's how Black and Denim came about.
How did you build the team once you decided you're going to go with that idea?
Yeah, I found one of my co-founders. His name is Luis. He was another graduate from Florida State, and our third partner we found through a mutual friend. And we came up. Everybody had different pieces to the puzzle, so that's how we were able to make it work.
From that starting point to where you are now, what were the biggest fears and obstacles that you were at?
I think bootstrapping was the biggest obstacle, but it was also the biggest asset because it gave us the opportunity to learn how to manage our money more effectively and to use the traditional beg, borrow, and steal to kind of get ahead. I think that some of the biggest fears is always failing or creating something that nobody wants. So that's why we try to stay in tune as much as possible with trying to marry what it is that we like, and then try to marry what people want, and then try to mix the two.
And how much did you start off with?
We started with $1,500, so $500 each. Yeah, not an incredible budget. I didn't stretch the imagination.
Where did you go when you needed advice, and how did you decide what things to delegate to others versus use the time and money to do it yourself?
That's a very good question. When we first started, we started to look for industry peers, looking for mentors, and SCORE is a network of former and seasoned mentors that come from industries. And there are lawyers, doctors, PR, marketing. So they're the ones that you can pitch them ideas, and they can tell you which direction you can go or if you're going the right track or not.
Is that free?
Yeah, it's all free. Yeah, correct. Yeah, absolutely.
What did FSU have any role on the development or incubation of it?
Yeah, I think that I used to work at the Career Center when I was in school. My degree is accounting and finance. I have 2 degrees in accounting and finance, so I had some of the business knowledge from that. So I think that in that part, FSU had a big role in it. In terms of connections, it's been tremendous. We've actually had the opportunity to go back to help merchandising program. I met with the dean before. She has also connected us with some stores. So the FSU network has always been there, providing some comfort or some sort of cushion so that we can figure out if we need something. We always know they're available.
Is there anything that you feel like you underutilized or something that you would have changed from
We didn't use social media in the beginning as much as we wanted to, and I think that was kind of like an oversight on our part. We started when Twitter was started, so there's no reason why we couldn't be one of the tweet stars and people for know about us. If we would have jumped into Twitter earlier. So I think in the hindsight, there's always going to be things that you can say, what if I would have done this different, what would be the outcome? But I like to think that if we would have done that, it would have changed something else, which would have altered, our course of what we're being today.
What are your plans for the future of Black and Denim?
Expanding our retail presence with a store in Tampa and another one at the airport in the next 2 to 5 years. And then we want to try to scale with the scope of sales that we do, and we're started looking for outside funding on that now. We're at a point where a lot of people think that if they want to start a business, they have to borrow money at first. And what they can do is prove the concept, bootstrap it. And once you have a need or a demand, it's just way more easier to get money, to say, hey, I did this, I made it, and now X company wants a lot of it. I just need somebody to help me get to that point. So that's what we're doing now.
And you said a Kickstarter, you utilize that?
Yeah, crowdfunding is here to stay. I think I've seen other companies that they will start bootstrapping and then utilize business plan competitions or crowdfunding campaigns to launch their successful companies, and then start with different series A, B, or C of investing. So these two alternatives of bootstrapping and then crowdfunding, essentially kind of like the proof of concept. Crowdfunding is great because not only gives you the opportunity to get somebody to become a brand ambassador for your brand, but they're paying you money to buy the product for free. So that's to me, that's a win-win.
Who are your biggest competitors?
Our biggest competitor is, I would say, anybody that is in the apparel business that is after our demographic. So I don't want to say that we have necessarily a competitor. We're small enough where there's not somebody else, try to butt heads into it with us. But I think that when we go to boutiques and we're seeing what other people are buying, I think that's our biggest competitors. Is try to stay relevant with trends or market forecasts. That our biggest competitors is us in that sense.
Okay. Who are your allies as far as who you're sticking with? And
Yeah. So I think that our customers are our biggest allies. They're the ones that support us. They're the ones that are telling us what it is that they want. I know that a lot of people think that a maker or a merchant is supposed to tell their customers what is the need. But for us, it's really keeping that ear to the ground and figuring out what it is that they want or how they want to serve, because we believe that first and foremost it's a service economy. So we want to create value for them.
Why USA?
It was an accident, but it was a good accident. Typically speaking, if you're making anything, you want to try to get or keep as much quality control as you can, and that meant manufacturing the U.S. first. And then when we get into a bigger scale, then outsource it somewhere else, because that's what we have been learning since the 1990s with globalization, right? You can make it good first and then have to hire somebody else to replicate. But the more and more that we looked for a manufacturer of merchants, and the more and more we saw that Made in America was only not the good thing to do, but the right thing to do, and we decided to stick to it.
What is your edge, and how do you sell the higher price points and the higher quality?
Yeah.
Most people are used to mall goods.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate yours when to the unaffiliated?
Yeah, I think that it's easier for people to say to flip an expense with an investment. So if they wanted to buy something and we typically consider an expense, they can just flip it and say this is going to be an investment, and they can change their whole perception or mentality. But what we do is that we try to tell them that this not only is a better government, but it goes out to support people and have a better hiring wage. So that always this is a good hard pull. It gives them a good tug where they can start thinking about the choices that they make.
One of the biggest questions I have as someone who wants to get into the business is creating budgets before you know what kind of margins you're going to be making, how much volume you're going to be selling. It's hard to plan with money before you even know how it's going to be spent or how much you're going to be getting back.
Yeah. I think that to understand what the scope is, you gotta figure out what it is you're gonna make, and then kind of like reverse engineering. So figure out what it is that what do you want to accomplish. If you want to say, okay, I want to sell this to at least 50 stores, then this is how much I have to make. Then this is what the assortment is going to look like in terms of depth and breadth. That's an industry term for assortments. And then you can start figuring out what colors are you going to use, what fabrics are you going to use, how many silhouettes are you going to have, and try to pinpoint how much you can afford, right? So once you have determined your end goal, and then you kind of work yourself, all those steps backwards, then you can see where you can perhaps knock corners, but solidify something else. Or you can make basic staples that just need a few updates from season to season.
How do you manage, other people who have skills that you don't have, and then, is there greediness? Do they want a bigger piece of the pie because they're doing some of the piece of the work? How do you keep the business running?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think it's communication. You have to be able to convey and communicate effectively with the people that are making it happen, right? So I don't know how to sew, so I need to convey that to the all the people that have some sort of input into it, and those are the ones that are making it, and I have to listen to their feedback as well. You always want to make sure that you lead with your heart and not with your hands. So you get them excited, you get them a reason to do it, and then plan to listen to their input and to also incorporate it into the plan.
For newer companies, profitability could be something that's not seen for months, years.
Yeah.
How do you build a team? How do you work with people when, being successful and even creating profit isn't necessarily guaranteed?
Correct. Number one is the only way that you can go ahead with something is if you absolutely love it. If you can see yourself doing that for the rest of your life. But also being aware that if this is what you love, not everybody's gonna love it. And that at some point or another you might have to terminate it. And that you're gonna have to live with that answer or that consequence, and that you're gonna be okay. Because a lot of people are married to their businesses and their ideas, and when they're not successful, it's very hard for them to let it go.
What has been the most rewarding part of the journey?
I think the most rewarding part has been able to do this, right? To give back to students, to help other people. We're very actively with the entrepreneurship department at Florida State. We also are active with the entrepreneurship department at the University of Tampa, which Chris is an alumni. Being able to meet an incredible amount of people from all different walks of life.
I hope a lot of success and good changes for the future.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah.